Talk movies! Movie friends! Welcome, friends. This is Pete. So, aside from our regular show that me and Steve do, we decided that we're going to do some of our own content for you guys to listen to, and hopefully you'll enjoy. So, I decided I was going to do a series where I just watch a bunch of Disney movies, maybe some that I haven't seen in a while, or some that I really enjoy over like throughout my life, and just watch them and talk about them, kind of review them for you. And yeah, so if you're a Disney fan, you would love this show. I am a huge Disney fan. That's why I wanted to. That's why I had the idea to do this. Grew up watching Disney. Have all the VHS tapes. I still watch Disney. It's why I got into voice acting. I just love Disney and animated films. I won't necessarily just do animated Disney films. I'll do all kinds of Disney movies. It doesn't have to be animated. I'm just gonna do a bunch of Disney movies that I like or haven't seen in a while and talk about them with you guys. And hopefully you like them and listen to them. So I guess this is my first episode. So the movie I chose is a little weird, and it's not animated. That's why I brought up before that they're not all going to be about animated movies. But yeah, I chose this movie because I haven't seen it in a while. I really liked it when I was a little kid. I don't know how I'm going to, because I haven't watched it in my adult years, so I don't know how I'm going to feel about it now. I kind of want to keep the first, bunch of episodes that I do for this. I want to do movies that like Disney movies that I haven't seen in a long time, so I can watch them now and kind of compare it and see if I still enjoy it or if it still holds up or if it's just I was a dumb, stupid kid and that's why I really liked it. Because sometimes kids just like really stupid things, and when you grow up, you're like, what the fuck was I thinking? So, yeah. So the movie I chose for this episode is The Country Bears. Yes, The Country Bears. Yeah, a lot of you are probably like, why the fuck would he choose The Country Bears? But like I said, I really enjoyed this movie when I was a little kid, and watching it now in my adult years, I'm gonna tell you, I still like it. I like the music. I still found it funny. Yeah, it's kind of got just a simple plot, but it's a road trip movie. I like road trip movies. Yeah, so you know what? I still really enjoyed it. If you haven't seen it, I would say watch it if you're a Disney fan. And if you have it, or if you have seen it but you haven't seen it recently, I would say give it another shot because I think it still holds up. Critically, it did terribly, and even the user score, even people who aren't critics hated it. But I don't know, I really liked it. I like the idea when, even though these even though these movies aren't that good to the general public, I like when they take things from Disneyland, like the rides, or like Country Bears is just like a robotic band that plays at Disneyland sometimes, and they took that and turned it into a movie. Or like Tomorrowland, for example, is just an attraction at Disneyland. They took that and made it into a movie. Pirates of the Caribbean as well. So I think I think, I don't know, that's a cool idea. I'm not a huge fan of Tomorrowland or the Pirates franchise, but Country Bears, I don't know, I really enjoy. I like the music. The song at the beginning is great. Let It Ride. Yeah, and I don't know. I think it still holds up, and if you're a Disney fan, you should watch it still. And by the way, these episodes I'm doing where I'm talking about these Disney movies, they're gonna have spoilers in it because it's a Disney movie. I mean, yeah, I don't know what else to say. Like, it's a Disney movie. If you haven't seen it, then whatever. And even if it's spoiled for you, it's not that big of a deal. But some of these movies have been out for like almost 100 years, so yeah, there's gonna be spoilers. But yeah, so basically the gist of Country Bears is there's this little bear named Barry, and he's adopted by a human family, which is like kind of weird. But they don't acknowledge that he's a bear, which is like even more weird. So they're kind of just like really suppressing who he is. And his brother, who's a pretty big douchebag, but is kind of the only one that's like, fucking bro, you're a bear. But yeah, so Barry decides he doesn't know who he is and wants to find out who he is and find himself. So he runs away and wants to go to Country Bear Hall because that's where anthropomorphic bears find out that they're anthropomorphic bears who like country music. But yeah, and yeah, he's a huge fan of the Country Bears. The Country Bears are like pretty much like the Beatles, which kind of doesn't make sense because after they break up, they all separated ways and they're working like shitty jobs. And if they were like the Beatles, I'm sure they would all be still, or at least a couple of them would still have a lot of money and be living pretty well. But one of them's like working security on some show, and another one's like a wedding singer. One of them's one of them was kind of like a drunk, which I kind of thought was pretty cool that Disney kind of tried to tackle that. But excuse me, one of them was like a drunk and kind of like would gamble his money all the time with Queen Latifah, and was in a lot of debt. And so I thought that was kind of cool. But yeah, pretty much Barry gets to Country Bear Hall and he figures out that it's closing down because Christopher Walken's character, who's a douchebag real estate tycoon, wants to tear it down because he has a personal vendetta against the Country Bears. And so yeah, Barry wants to get the band together so they can raise the money and save the day. So that's pretty much the gist of the story. Like I said, it's pretty generic, but they go on a pretty epic road trip, which I like. I like road trip movies. So yeah, I like that aspect of it. I still found it pretty funny, which I mentioned earlier. Like, it's still pretty funny, especially the two cops that are in the movie, Ham and Cheats, which is like so stupid, but like really funny to me for some reason. But Officer Ham and Cheats, yeah, that's when they first introduced themselves as that. I thought that was funny. Even the little line afterwards when he says, oh, Ham and Cheats, that's hilarious. And they're like, yeah, we get that a lot. And he's like, well, yeah, because, it's your name. So I thought that was funny. But yeah, I don't know. A lot of people are probably like, this guy is fucking nuts. But I still enjoyed it. It's got a great cast. Haley Joel Osment, who at that time was still crushing it when he was a little kid. Christopher Walken's in it. Brad Garrett. Stephen Root. Yeah, it's a pretty funny cast. And pretty good cast. So it's got that going for it at least. And yeah, a lot of people give this movie shit because the music is a little corny and it's a little, but that's just a sign of the times. Like, this came out in early 2000, like this came out like 2001. So a lot of the like music videos that we had at that time were pretty lame. And so yeah, like specifically I'm thinking of the part where the security guard bear, who I think his name's Fred Betterhead, he works on some like a security on set for like a music video that's going on, and the singer figures out that he's Fred Betterhead, which I don't know how the fuck you can't figure out that's Fred Betterhead. He's a huge talking bear that looks exactly the same. So if you're a huge fan of him, I don't know how you didn't notice that your security guard was him, but he joins into the music video and it's really corny. It's like sister, and it's like really early 2000s, you can tell. So a lot of people think that's why it's corny, but so I agree with them a little bit, but that's just a sign of the times, really. And I thought, like, even though what I thought was cool is Jim Henson's Creature Shop is what provided the bear costumes, and I'm a huge fan of Jim Henson and the Muppets, and they're kind of hand in hand with Disney, so I was always a big fan of the Muppets and Jim Henson. So it was cool that the Creature Workshop that he owns provided all the costumes and stuff, and they look really good for the technology that they had at the time. And I was thinking, like, nowadays if they made a Country Bears movie with, like technology they used in Jungle Book for Baloo or something in the live action one, that would, I don't know, I'm down for that. That would be kind of cool with the new technology that we have. But back then, those costumes looked pretty good. You can kind of tell that they told the actor or the voice actors to speak a little slow because the animatronic heads had to match what the actor is saying. So you can kind of, some of the lines they would deliver like pretty slow, and you can tell it's just because they can't just be like, oh, about da 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 da, because then the costume would just look weird. But yeah, I mean, for that time, there are moments that I'm like, this is what an anthropomorphic bear that was singing on stage would look like. So they did a good job technically. So you got to give it to them for that. But yeah, I think people are a little harsh with it. I think it's a good movie. It's got great music. Disney are like, they're known for their musicals. So this has great music. I actually afterwards downloaded some of the songs from the soundtrack on Spotify because I was vibing them to them so much when I was watching the movie. But yeah, I don't know if I should like this show. I'm kind of doing this like on the fly right now. I didn't have like an ironclad plan. I was just gonna watch a Disney movie and then talk about it and kind of review it with you guys, and hopefully you listen and tune in. But I don't know if I should do like something like out of 5 stars or whatever. No, fuck it, I'll do it. I'll give Country Bears 3 out of 5 stars. It's not a perfect movie, and I definitely see why people have a problem with it, because it does look a little weird sometimes, especially like with the little bear Barry, and like there are some moments where it just does kind of look a little creepy in a sense, and borderline like furry stuff. Like if you're into furries, I think you would really like this movie a lot. So I do kind of see why people aren't a big fan of this movie, but I don't know, I really liked it. Maybe I'm just biased because I'm a huge Disney fan, but I still really enjoyed it. I would say give it another shot if you've seen it before. If you haven't seen it, I would just say screw it, get a little toasty and watch it, and just watch some Country Bears rock out. No problem with that, But yeah, I'll give it 3 out of 5 stars. And that's basically the gist of the show. I'm just gonna shoot the shit about Disney movies I watch. Me and Steve are probably gonna try and do a lot more content along with our regular show that we do. We're gonna do our own separate thing and kind of do our own shows that hopefully you guys listen to and have more content for you guys. So yeah, maybe I'll do like shows that I'm currently watching or something like that. I don't know, but we'll have good stuff for you guys. But yeah, if you're a Disney fan, keep tuning into this show for sure. Yeah, so thank you for listening, and goodbye, my friends. Comment, like, subscribe, hit the bell to be notified.